Hi everyone, we are now moving on to our third panel of the day. Previously, we were joined by some of the best from the wedding industry. We are now going to be moving on to our next panel discussion on hair and makeup trends of 2022-23. We are going to be speaking with some of the most creative and amazing ladies who are experts in this field. We have with us Chathu Silva from Sri Lanka, who is the founder of Cosmo Beauty Studios. We have Jean Galuk from South Africa. She is the founder and CEO of Limitless Studios. Next, we have Sana Ahmed from India. She is the owner of Sana Makeup Artistry. We have Kalanne Ebiye Koripamo from Nigeria. She is an esthetician and the founder of Gage Cosmetics. Kalanne is also an author of a book called Skin First. We have Neha Raj from India. She is the owner of Bloom Makeup Studios. And finally, we have Sakhshi Sabhaney, who is a very talented makeup artist from India. She has had the opportunity of showcasing her skills at some of huge events like IFA Awards and Bombay Times Fashion Week. Hi Neha, hi
Hi,
Kalanne, hi
hi, Ananya.
Sakshi.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, how are you guys doing?
fine, thank you.
All
Hi.
good.
Great. Whose phone is that? Okay, so the rest of the panel members will be joining shortly. Um, so thank you all for taking out the time to join us today, all of you.
No problem.
So today we'll be speaking about hair and makeup trends of 2022 and 23. So what do you guys think of the topic? What's your take on this topic?
Uh,
Why don't you go first, Sakshi?
Um, I feel like there has been a lot of change in the makeup trends. I feel like nowadays the cakey makeup and the layered makeup is no more your go-to. It's all about natural beauty, less about hiding, more about enhancing your features. I'm actually very happy with the way the beauty industry is going right now and where we're going with it. Yeah, I have a lot more points to add, but once it's my
Yes.
turn, I will talk.
Yeah. What about you, Kalan? What do you think of this topic? Uh, can you hear me, Kalan?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I lost you for a second.
Okay. I'm just asking, what is your take on this topic in the makeup industry today, the evolution till now? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's really, really going well because when it comes to makeup, I tend to less is more for me. So I like the fact that the textures are coming to play, like using like cream blushes and cream-based concealers. Everything is all like your texture has to look like skin. It has to look really dewy. It's not as cakey as my
Right.
colleague said. So it's really, really interesting because it's easy to blend, it's easy to work with, and you're in and out in seconds. So it's amazing.
Great. And what about you, Neha? What do you think?
I think my colleagues here summed it up, whatever I wanted to say, because I echo a very similar thought. The kind of work that I do is also very skin-like, and it also largely depends on which region we come from. I feel because India is so diverse, and we have a very different style of makeup if you go to Delhi, for instance, in India, or if you go to Punjab, or you come down to Bangalore, or go
Yeah.
further south to Kerala. So everybody has a different style of doing it, which is what I think is really nice about our country because even when it comes to makeup, the techniques and styles are so diverse. But
True.
inherently, the way we do it down south is extremely skin like and natural, and we are moving more and more towards that. Yeah.
Great. So while we wait for the other panel members to join in, I'm just going to ask you all one by one. What is your favorite makeup trend that's going, viral or something? So what about you, Kalan? Uh, I think she couldn't hear me. Can you hear me, Kalan? No. Okay. Okay, Neha, why don't you go?
Okay, if you ask me, there are a lot of trends that I love, but one that I really like is, the fact that we've got a very dewy, radiant, and glistening skin kind of a look that is in today. Even if you see any of our celebrities, they have this very bronzed look, which I personally love doing on my brides and myself too.
Great. Sakshi?
I'm really into the brushed up brows right now, like your natural,
Right.
just like letting your brows do what it wants instead of like having a structured brow. Yeah, of course, it's nice in some looks, but that's the trend I'm currently really loving.
Great. So, Kalan, I was just asking the other ladies here what is their favorite makeup trend that's going viral right now. So, can you hear me?
Okay, I
Hello?
can hear you now.
Okay, great. Can you? So, I was just asking everybody what is your favorite makeup trend that's going viral right now?
Uh, well, I think for me is when it comes to eyeshadows, right? We tend to work with lots of pigment, so from matte to, glitter. But right now, you could easily just, use a shade and just go over with like an oil-based texture, the same texture that most likely you would use on your lips, like a lip gloss, and just go over your eyes. Especially, you would
Mm-hmm.
find this mostly on the runways, anyways. But you would still use it on your brides, especially summer brides, like brides who want that really, really fresh summer, look. It's kind of like really interesting because you could actually downplay and overplay it. It depends on what you're working with, but it's quite interesting. I think for me that's quite easy. And then another thing is the eyebrows. Like, back in the day, you have to spend time with your concealer and, take time. But now it's almost like chit, 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 and, use your brow gel and you're up and you're going. Like,
Right.
you can't
Yeah.
really be bothered.
Yeah. So great. So another thing nowadays, makeup, lots of makeup trends coming in, but also at the same time, skincare has, the importance of skincare. There's like 100 steps. So what is
Mm.
your take on skincare these days? What about, let's start with Neha.
Skincare is supremely important, when it comes to getting a skin-like finish. So what happens, I think my colleagues here would agree, when you work with clients, they often say that they want to look like a certain celebrity. Let's take Alia Bhatt, for instance.
Yeah,
We've had so many of our brides come in and tell us that I want the Alia Bhatt look. But I'm like, but ma'am, do you have Alia Bhatt skin? And have you put in the kind of effort that Alia Bhatt has into her skincare? So that's, I would say, a challenge we face every day as makeup artists, because a
right.
lot of people do not have the kind of awareness of skincare that is required today. It's a very simple routine of just cleansing, toning, and moisturizing. If along with your sunscreen, if you follow twice a day, I think it can bring phenomenal results. Along with, of course, your liquid intake, which I emphasize on with my brides a lot. That the amount of water you drink, because a lot of people have dehydrated skin because they don't use the right products, one, and they also consume barely 1 or 2 liters or even less of water per day. So yeah, I mean, if you take care of these two things, I think it makes our job phenomenally easy, and we can also give you the kind of look you envision for yourself as a bride. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you want to add something to this, Sakshi?
I think she said it all. Skincare is key. Like as much as you moisturize before and hydrate your skin, that's how dewy and flawless your base is gonna look. However, you can overdo it sometimes and make it look oily. So you need to know when to stop. But like she said, like skincare is key. Drink your water and like moisturize, hydrate. It does wonders to the skin.
This I have this personal question. Do you guys think that these serums, like ordinary or minimalistic, what is yours? Since you're all into makeup and skincare, I would really want to know, does it really work?
I would say yes.
What
I
about
would say
you,
yes.
Neha?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, it does, because um, like, it depends on what your concern is, or what is it that you want to address. Like, if you go for hyaluronic acid, for
Yeah,
instance, it works very well on dry skin. If you go for glycolic, for instance, it gives you a very good glow, which is why a glycolic acid toner can be used if you want to get that glow on your bride. So, like the Pixie Glow Tonic works wonderfully there. So, it depends on the concern area. If you have pigmentation, then we'll have to get in some other chemical. So, it's about understanding what will work for your skin and just sticking to one or two chemicals and not overdoing it,
Right.
which I think is key. Yeah. But they
Yeah.
definitely work very well. In a month of regular usage, you will definitely see results.
And
Right.
I would like to add that you incorporate one chemical into your routine at a time. You
Correct.
don't just go ahead and just do your
Mm.
HA, niacinamide, just like all your acids. Like then you're
Yeah,
gonna have a bad reaction. Use
absolutely.
one, see what your skin feels like. If it's taking it well, add the other one. Then your skincare will suddenly become a 10-step routine. But on the first day, don't make it a 10-step routine because everything will start peeling and flaking, and you don't want that.
I am definitely going to keep that in mind. And what about you, Kalan? Kalan is an esthetician, so please,
Oh,
you
wow.
give us some insight into this.
Yeah, I think what's also most important, added to what my colleagues are saying, is I would tend to tell my brides to start a skincare routine, most likely 3 months to 2 months prior to the big day, because we tend to see lots of stressed brides. We tend to see lots of brides that are not getting enough sleep. And it all boils down to you, the makeup artist, to transform them within the 45 minutes or an hour that you're with them. So they're counting on you to give them this Cinderella version of themselves. And if they are not obviously taking good care of themselves in terms of sleeping well, eating well, resting, it's definitely going to show on your work. And you really don't want that because your brand is at stake. So I tend to put them on like a skincare routine, an antioxidant serum that I always insist that it's always there, especially in the morning routine, is the vitamin C serum. It just keeps
Mm.
away the oxidative stress,
Right.
because these are things that they go through every single day. Hyaluronic acid is actually a fantastic and brilliant one. If they haven't started using retinol, I would just introduce it and tell them to use it once a week just to make sure that skin is looking really tight, and just presentable, not saggy, or fine lines are not obviously showing, because then again the foundation and the concealer may get trapped in the wrinkle. So you
Yeah.
just want their skin to look flawless. If they decide to continue with the routine after the wedding, it's fine as well. But then again, you have to take into consideration their skin concerns, if they're dealing with hyperpigmentation, dark circles, and all that. So maybe you might come back and just tweak the skin routine. But if it's just for getting ready, getting the bride ready, nothing to stress the bride, easy routine. So you cleanse your face, you go in with your antioxidant serum, vitamin C, go in with your moisturizer and your sunscreen. That's it for during the day. And then at night time, if you need a bit of brightening or anything, like my colleague said, you could introduce your glycolic acid, like the Pixie Glow, after you wash your face, and then go in with your moisturizer. But because it's an exfoliant, you might not want to use it every single day. You might just want to ease your way into it. So you could start with
Right.
once a week and then increase to 2 times a week, and just see how your skin fares, because you don't want a situation where your skin is taking a whole lot, like, my colleague said, you start having flakiness, start having acne, and so many things going on. And then you're looking at your makeup artist like, what did you tell me to apply on my face? Like,
Yeah.
you were meant to help me get everything away, but look at my face. So I think it's just one of those things to just incorporate into their routine.
Amazing. I think everybody who's watching this session right now is going to be learning so much. I am myself learning a lot. So this is great. Now let's move on. So since we're here to talk about makeup primarily, so what advice would you guys give to a bride who wants to do her own makeup? So let's start with you, Kalan.
Well, it's it's interesting because I did my makeup myself when I was getting
Oh,
married. So it was one of the things, like, I think the person who I wanted, she was out of the country at the time. So I just said, you know what, I couldn't really trust anyone with my face at that time. Looking back,
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe you could have just allowed, kept yourself pampered. But what I did was I sent everyone out of the room, because you don't want ears, like people telling you things, no, do it this way,
Mhm.
do it that way. And I just needed time with myself so that I'm not, jittery, I'm not shaking, my eyeliner is not looking funny. And I just took my time, put on some, cool music. I just had fun with it. And in 30 to 45 minutes, because it was my face, I'm used to my features, I was done.
Wow.
Excuse me. I knew what I wanted. And so when I came out, everyone was like, "Oh, you look gorgeous." I'm like, "Okay, thank you, thank you." But it was quite an experience. So I would say plan your face chart, know the colors ahead, practice it. Go out with the face, go out with that look, go for functions, with that look. You need to feel really, really comfortable, practice, go over and over so that at the time that it's the day of your wedding, it's not time for you to test run colors. It's not time for you to test run like what blush should I use. You know what you're going for, and you do that with expertise, and you do all.
Right. Yeah, I think her connection is not so great. So, guys, Chathu Silva is here from Sri Lanka. She is the founder of Cosmo Beauty Studio. Hi, welcome, Chathu. Can she hear me? Okay.
Hello, hi. Sorry for being late there for me to log in.
Hi. So, we were just discussing what you guys would advise to a bride who wants to do her own makeup. So, okay, what about Chathu? You tell us. I can't. Am I audible? Chathu?
Okay, basically nowadays because of the COVID, people are there are so many tutorials on social media like YouTube and so on. So a lot of people actually tend since these a lot of people are going for like no makeup and very minimal simple to do it at home also. Bride using that method as well.
Okay, I am not able to hear Chaudhary properly, so let's move on to Sakshi. Please continue.
I would honestly say, one, if you're doing it like my colleague said, be planned, well planned, because that's not the day you want to sit and decide what you want to do. But I'd also like to add, pamper yourself that day. Get someone to do it. Like, you have way too many things on your head on that day to worry about the creases under your eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely, like,
Yeah,
be pampered. Get a little pampered. It's your main day, you know?
Actually,
right.
And like touch ups, you need someone to be looking at your face and like spotting the oil. You do your own makeup. You're gonna be looking at your clothes, your hair, your makeup. How much are you gonna handle? Just enjoy the day and the moment. Get a makeup artist. That's why we're here. It's good.
That is good advice. And what about you, Neha? What do you think?
absolutely,
I think
absolutely. I totally agree.
Okay, I'm sorry.
okay. Yeah, so I was saying, I think what Sakshi said makes absolute sense. I would echo a very similar sentiment. But if a bride were to still decide to do her own makeup, I have a very important advice to give you. Please do a course with a professional well in advance before you get into this risky area, I would say, because you're paying your photographer, you're spending so much on your outfit, but if your face is not going to look the way it should, ideally, then it's going to take away from everything. So we have a lot of professionals today who are teaching self makeup, right, for individuals who are like beginners and laymen's. So get yourself enrolled for these one day workshops or something like that. Get a list from the professional of what would be the best products to buy, which will be long lasting, because you may not really know that as a beginner, that what is it that a makeup artist uses to make sure that the makeup lasts for 12 to 16 hours. What product does she use to fix it? How does she ensure that the kajal does not bleed if the bride were to cry, or
Yeah.
that the blush doesn't go off? So these are technical things that a beginner or a layman may not understand. So enroll for a course, and then if you're confident, go ahead and do it, and it's your call at the end of the day.
Great. Chathu, do you want to continue your answer? Can
Yes. I hope now the line is clear.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me? You can
So
continue,
basically,
or you can also try. Okay. Yeah. Yes, please go on.
okay. For me, I actually agree with all of the ladies. So basically, it's their wedding day. Obviously, there are certain clients of mine who just come to me and they do the trial with me. They want me to teach them how to do the makeup for the wedding day. There are certain clients of mine who are like that also. Again, I tell them, like, but you definitely do the touch up and to do the concealing part and all. But a lot of people are considering the weather, and then, like, before Sri Lankan weddings, they have they get about like 300 to 400 people in a wedding. But nowadays, because of the COVID situation, the government themselves, they minimize everything into about 50 guests. So a lot of people are actually having these functions, which is a disaster when they do their own makeup, because makeup are not waterproof and also they sweat a lot. But some people, they have a clear, if they have a clear skin, they are very confident to do only the liner and a little bit of foundation and all. So, like, professional advice is to get it done professionally, so that we know exactly what we are doing and we can provide them a better service. Will last the makeup for a very long time. uh, but again, it's their choice, and I always tell, but I respect them. End of the day, it's their big day and it's their choice. What we can do is advise them and guide them to do the best. So yeah, that's my take on the matter.
Okay, wonderful. So now, what is the one item that, according to you guys, the experts, what is the one item a bride should not be without on her wedding day? Let's start with Neha.
I would say a lipstick, because the way we do the makeup, I know that it lasts the whole day, but because of eating and drinking and all of that, the lipstick tends to come off after 6 8 hours. So I always suggest that brides carry it in their purse, or give it to their friends so they can keep touching up for 16 18 hours.
Okay, what about you, Sakshi?
I would say lashes, but like, I'm not saying that you need to be wearing false lashes at all times. Even if you're loading yourself up with mascara, do that, because that really opens up the eye. I feel like lashes is my thing.
Okay. What about you, Kalan?
Well, for me, in my head, she's done with her makeup and she's already starting her big day. So I'll just ensure that her bridesmaid or her maid of honor would have a lip gloss, because something to just easily, just quickly reapply, most likely in the same shade as the lipstick she initially went out with, so that it's easy to reapply. And then, for the after party, it's easy for her to just still look glam with the lip gloss on, and then she's having a fun day.
Okay. And over to you, Chatri. What do you think?
Basically, if there's something with them, I think a powder would be best, because they need to and when they have to powder themselves, they have a powder, and then again a lipstick or a lip gloss, like maybe
Right.
one lipstick or a powder.
Okay. Okay, great. That was cool. So now what I would want to ask you all is, what is your, what do you, one tip for the bride to have a glowing skin on her wedding day? Let's go with Kalan.
Okay, for me, I would say stock up on lots of antioxidants. So your vitamin A's, like sweet potatoes, citrus fruits, vitamin C's, almonds, vitamin E, anything that would just help your system to just glow from within. And like I did say, vitamin C serum. It's one of the things that you want to like not miss out in your skincare routine,
Yeah.
and lots of water. So if she has these three, and of course rest. Rest is really, really important, even though it's going to be difficult, but she should just try. So, yeah, those would be my great tips.
Great. What about you, Sakshi?
Skincare, like I would also recommend maybe getting done a facial, but not just a day before because you want it to settle. You don't know what it's gonna look like the next day. So do a facial a few days before, and like I said, skincare. Just load yourself up with skincare, and then your
Okay,
makeup will look good.
awesome. What about you, Chathu?
Is actually a good supplement and about like 3 months before they have to start a good supplement support, and then a good skincare routine, especially with vitamin C ingredients. That will be great. And for specific day, if they can use a sort of a primer, that'll give them that instant glow. So I think all these steps should
Yeah,
be included.
great. What about you, Neha?
Yeah, so I think my colleagues spoke about all the points that I wanted to share, but I would like to add one to this that on the day of the event, of course, assuming that you've done all that they shared, like a good diet, water, 3 months of CTM, and all of that, I would suggest dunking your face in ice bucket on the day of the wedding because it will depuff your eyes, take care of your pores, and give you an instant glow. Follow that up with a sheet mask and then get your makeup done. You will see that you will have that glow from within and that radiant look that every bride wants.
Awesome. Yeah, that was something that I had not heard of before. So great. So as you guys are aware, okay, so we talked about what advice you would give to the brides who want to do their own makeup. Now, some of them might go overboard with it. They might, get carried away with all the trends and looks that they want to, apply to themselves. So what advice would you give to these brides for not overdoing it, for keeping it natural? Or, yeah. So, what about you, Kalanne? What do you think?
I would simply just tell them to imagine yourself in 20, 30 years. You want to have a picture that you would look back and you would still recognize yourself and say, oh, this is me. You don't want to look back at your wedding picture and you're wondering, who is this person? Now, I'm not actually talking about personality wise, but like physically, who is this person? Like, you can't even recognize your own self. You want your picture to be timeless. You want it to be a classic because it's something that is going to be there. You're going to show your children's, it's just going to be there. So you want to ensure that you look like yourself. And if that's the look that you're going for, if the bride tells me yes, that's what she wants, then we're like, okay, so what tones and what colors and what keeps you comfortable, what makes you look like you. And it's easy for us to start choosing colors palettes, and we now know that this is what the bride is going for, and we practice that look. Especially, it could actually be something she has done in the past before, maybe just
Right.
a little bit of enhancement, like maybe the lashes and every other thing that comes into it. But stick to looking like the best version of yourself.
That is good advice. Okay, over to you, Chatu. What do you think?
Yeah, some actually, now when it comes to Sri Lankan brides, we have a few options. Some people, they take the traditional Sri Lankan bridal, which is Indian sari, sari drip, and then they have to wear a lot of jewelry. There's a head, there are about like necklaces, some are long, that it's extreme glam. So some certain brides, glittery eyes on top of that also. So what I recommend them is you don't want to be like too much anyway. You're gonna look good and you will be highlighted. So a lot of what they overdo is when they have a lot of jewelry, they go with like a heavy, like know, over detailed eyes, especially glitter eyes. Very careful with the eye makeup if you're using a lot of jewelry. So that's why what I asked them, because as she said, end of the day these pictures will be there forever. Then end of the day when
Right.
the children see like it,
Yeah.
so you don't want that.
Yeah.
So that's out everything.
Great. Okay, Neha, what advice would you give to these brides?
Yeah, I would just tell them that this is an advice I give my clients who walk into our studio also, that, when you're on stage all dressed up, people who walk up should not look at you and feel like, I've never met this person before. That happens because a lot of artists transform you completely. And then people are just wondering, who is this person? And so when somebody looks at you, they should just look at you as an enhanced version of yourself, and your features are just enhanced, and they look at you and they feel like, wow, she is the girl we've always known, but such a more, a much more prettier version. So I
Right.
feel like every bride should just aim for that, like, yeah. And I
Great.
think as an artist also, it's important that we deliver that. And I just one thing I would also like to add here is, I would tell the brides to meet your artist if possible before, even if you cannot get a trial, at least meet, get an understanding. So if you have a comfort level with each other, then you know for sure that what you ask for is what you get. There's no discrepancy there.
Great. Over to you, Sakshi.
I think we've covered it all. Like everyone said, don't mask, enhance. But one thing I'd like to add is choose one feature. If you're going bold on your lips, don't go like heavy with your eyes. If you're doing hectic stuff on your eyes, don't go heavy with your lips. Just choose one feature you want to really enhance. Even if you're doing a lot of blush, keep everything else like minimal. Don't go overboard with everything, because like they said, then you're not going to look like yourself, and later on when you see the pictures, you're not going to enjoy it. So yeah.
Okay. So like Neha just mentioned, being comfortable with your artist is important. So how important do you think is the dynamic between the bride and the bride's artist? Uh, Chathu?
Yeah, very important, because communication between the bride and the makeup has to be there. Because end of the day, again, it's their wedding. They have what they want, but our professional advice, working together, we can do something amazing. And because certain times are there, I have seen certain artists, they don't communicate whatever they want, and end of the day the bride is not happy. End of the day, it's and during the day, if they are not happy, their facial expression, from the facial expression itself, it's going to show up. And I think that not that low self confidence. So as a makeup artist, we have to communicate with the bride, and we have to get to know what sort of a look. And then if they are in a wrong decision, it's our job to talk to them and come to a middle ground and then work it out.
Right.
Yeah. Kalanne, what about you?
Yes, it's extremely important, especially to build that good rapport. And I would say you have to, as a makeup artist, ensure that your client is so comfortable with you. You don't want any form of attitude. You don't want any form of, unspoken. I'm not too sure about you. So you just ensure that you get her really, really comfortable. Get to know her. I would say before you even have that pre-wedding makeup, maybe go out for lunch together. Just get to know her personality a bit. The kind of songs she listens to, etc. So when you're setting up for her on the big day, what I tend to do is I'll just put up a playlist of songs that I know that she had earlier mentioned that she likes to listen to. And it's, she kind of like feels like she's in a familiar environment. So it's easy for her to let go. And the truth is, even if you make a slight mistake, it's easy for the bride to be forgiven because, you got in so close to her. So it's almost like, no, it's okay, because sometimes they could quickly switch to bridezillas like that, you know? And it's hard to control that. But yeah, that's what I'll do.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Sakshi, what do you think?
Definitely, like everyone said, you have to be comfortable with your bride. They need to be able to share like what they actually want to do on their face. They can't be scared because that's their main day. You have to be extremely understanding, and sometimes you might not agree with everything that they say, but there's a way to explain to them that we're trying to make you look like your best. So listen to us a little bit, like listen, take their suggestions, try to like tone it down, find your middle ground. But yeah, it is very important to be very friendly with them because it's their main day, whatever they want.
Right. And Neha?
Yeah, so I think as an artist, like all of them said that it's important that we prioritize the bride. So I've also always done that. Like Kalan also pointed out, I also try and play a playlist that's very soothing. And a lot of brides have come back and mentioned it in the feedbacks that Neha really calmed us down with the music she played because there's so much anxiety, jitters, and cold feet on the day of the wedding. So they're going through a lot already. So I try and be their therapist also. Once you build that rapport with them, they open up to you about their fears and what is making them anxious, and you can kind of help them out. In fact, I've had times when one of my bride was fainting, and I luckily had an energy drink that I gave her, and she was able to go through the night. So, just like these little touches, carry something to eat, and you can probably share it with them. Give them some bars, energy bars to eat, because most of them go hungry. So, these little things to make sure that the bride is feeling relaxed, happy, and comfortable, because then, they will remember you for the rest of their life as somebody who made their day a lot more special, and not as somebody who came in with a lot of attitude and, scared them. Yeah, because that also happens a lot.
Great. So I think we have covered it all. And if there was even a single bride in the audience, I'm sure there are. I'm sure they're going to be prepared for their wedding day and everything related to their makeup and getting ready. So thanks to you guys. So thank you once again for taking out the time to join us today. It was a pleasure talking to you all. Thank you.